Are shooting courses or coaching worth it? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Joe here from the Scruffy Fam. Hey, if you're new, please subscribe, hit that like button. It just really helps the algorithm and helps our YouTube channel grow. So I launched my gunsmithing business, and part of my business is I offer one-on-one coaching for people. And I got asked a really interesting question the other day is, well, why would you offer coaching? There's a lot of reasons behind that. You know, there's a lot of new people getting into firearms. And to me, one of the scariest things is someone that is not knowledgeable about firearms, buying a firearm and then trying to go out to a range and use it, or just rely on what they see on YouTube or the internet. To me, that is a very, very frightening thing. As someone who's been around firearms my entire life, when people do that, that's when accidents happen. You can look on YouTube at gun fails all over the place and see where people are making very common mistakes and doing things they shouldn't do. I can go to any public range and see all of the bullet holes on the ceiling from people not understanding what they're supposed to do. Another reason for this is if you get something you're unfamiliar with. If you have always been a bolt action shooter and you're not used to the gas operated carbines that are out there, you may not know all the intricacies of them, and you may want to get a little bit better idea of what you're dealing with. Or if you've always shot revolvers and now you're going into pistols, it's a different world, okay? So are coaching or classes worth it? I would say that yes, they are. And that's not just coming because I do one-on-one coaching. It is because I think that based on the application you're looking for, you can get a plethora of knowledge from people that do this for a living. Now, the reality is, in America, the millions and millions of gun owners don't all have proficiency with the firearms that they own. And not everybody has the financial availability to go to a range several times a week to practice with their firearms. It's just, that's the thing, okay? So understanding that and knowing that, one of the things that I want to get across whenever I'm coaching someone is how to practice effectively, how to use their firearm safely, and what are some actual real world applications that these things fit. That can be anything from hunting rifles, home defense rifles and shotguns, pistols, any of that. How does that fit in your application? So let's get into that a little bit today and talk about it. Now, I live in Wisconsin, and very, very close to me is the Vortex headquarters. They're in Barneveld, Wisconsin, which is about 30 to 45 minutes away from me. They have Vortex Edge, where they offer a number of courses. And if you look on their website, you can see all of their offerings from long range, intro to carbine, intro to pistol. And I think all of those classes that they offer, for the money that they're charging, for the facilities that they have, are worth every penny. If you can afford to go out there and spend the time out there with them, I think that is an amazing opportunity. They have world-class facilities, and it is just a very, very good experience, okay? Knowledgeable instructors, good firearms to use if you don't have your own, and just a really good chance to understand the platform that you're using. I think that is great. Thunder Ranch, another one. And the list goes on, okay? If you have the money to go and do these things, I think that it would be a worthwhile effort. Well, what about one-on-one coaching? There are a lot of people who offer one-on-one coaching for shooting. Now, what I do when I am teaching someone is I want to know what your goals are for the training, okay? This comes from me being a jiu-jitsu person. I do private lessons for people all the time in jiu-jitsu. And I always ask them, come to me with what you want to do. Don't come to me expecting me to just make something up on the fly. Can I? Yes. Is it going to give you your money's worth? Maybe. But if you come to me with what you want to work on, we can tailor to you what we are doing. And I think the same thing is true when it comes to firearms classes and training, is you need to go to the things that are beneficial to you. Now, I know that some of the most popular ones, excuse me, are the close quarter combat, carbine with pistol, room clearing stuff. And while those are all like high intensity adrenaline pumping things, I always find it humorous when civilians go to those classes. Now, if you want to do airsoft or paintball and you're competitive in those things, it may be beneficial to take those classes with the carbine because the tactics and techniques are going to be beneficial to you. If you're really big into those types of competitive engagements, sure, go to these close quarter classes so you can understand a little bit better on how to clear rooms and areas of fire and, you know, the things that in the military and law enforcement we do inherently. If you're not someone that every weekend is out airsoft or paintball, and you're not in law enforcement, you're not in the military, you're not in any security forces, I don't see the reason for you to do close quarter combat stuff. Is it fun? It depends on what your idea of fun is. Yes, if you are a civilian who doesn't do any of that, do you really need to know how to infiltrate a house to rescue hostages? Probably not. Okay? If you're a hunter, is it beneficial for you to go to a long-range hunting school or a long-range shooting? Probably. There's long-range shooting classes that I think are extremely viable for anybody. You learn how to read wind, you learn how to do what we call your dope. It's data on previous engagements, is all dope means for those of you that don't know. You learn how to use ballistic calculators, you learn how to laze things correctly. I think long-range shooting is applicable for everybody. I think that's great. If you're a hunter, it's just going to make you a better hunter. I heard someone say that you don't need to do the long-range stuff unless you're doing precision PRS or NRL, and that's not true, because I think that anybody that wants to be a better shot, the speed and intensity that the PRS and NRL do, I think are great for hunting aspects. If you do those, it will make you a better hunter because you'll be able to identify and engage targets way faster in the real hunting applications because you're doing it in a simulated application over and over and over again. But for the long-range shooting school, what it's going to teach you is the fundamentals of breath control, trigger pull, equipment setup, reading the wind, being able to gauge distance correctly. I think that application is for just about everybody, okay? So when we look at shooting schools and coaching, we need to understand what is it that you're looking for, what is its application intended for, and does the price point meet the expectation, okay? I did a long-range shooting school a while ago, and my expectation of that long-range shooting school was that we were going to be going out to 1,000+ yards, okay? And what I was extremely disappointed in is we stayed at 100-yard range the entire time. And for the cost of that course and all of the things that we learned, it was all theory on going out to 1,000 yards to a mile, and the application was group sizes at 100 yards, and the emphasis was getting everything to a half MOA to be accurate at 1,000 yards. I was extremely disappointed in that because that is partially true, but not the entire story, okay? And so for that class, I was extremely disappointed. Then I went to they called it a tactical pistol class. And the tactical pistol class was a concealed carry class, okay? It was for general civilian use, carrying concealed, and that was probably one of the best courses I have ever been to. You worked on drawing, you worked on where you can carry, it talked about what your EDC looked like, And then you actually, on a range, would draw and shoot, and you would do magazine changes. They would make your weapon fail, right? So you'd have to go through all of these different scenarios that you may have to go through in a self-defense situation with a firearm. And it was one of the best classes I've ever been to, and it was one of the cheapest. It was awesome. I wanted to be more efficient with my concealed carry. That class made me more efficient with my concealed carry. So I could ramble on and talk to you guys for hours and hours about this, but what I want to really encourage you is, if you're thinking about doing a firearms course or getting some firearms coaching, have an idea of what you want to do and what your application is, as opposed to just the random, I'm going to go and see what this is about. Save your money. Don't blow it all on something that's not going to be beneficial for you. And if you have any questions or want to know which ones are good or which ones aren't, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at scruffyarms@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, scruffyarms.com. I'll answer any questions that you guys have. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. If you like the content, please, again, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.